Hey mini enthusiasts, how are you doing? Welcome back. I hope you're well and I hope you're having a great day. Today we're on the Racing Green and I'm going to be applying a ceramic coating. So ceramic coatings are different to things like waxes and polishes. They work in a completely different way. They apply a super hard coating which protects the paintwork from minor abrasions. I'm going to be using a dual layer system from Gtechniq. Consisting of Crystal Serum Light and EXO V5. And unlike waxes and polishes that you have to regularly apply lasting 1 to 3 months, ceramic coatings can last for years. Ceramic coatings protect from UV rays, oxidisation and minor scratches, but also they give a great sheen and a great shine to the car. And the way they work, it actually makes it much easier to clean the car. So let's get into the video and find out how we're going to get it done. So my choice of ceramic coating is Gtechniq's Crystal Serum Light and EXO X5. They provide a dual layer system for maximum protection and hyperphobic properties. Crystal Serum Light forms a durable glossy base layer, while the EXO enhances water repellency and gives that satisfying beading effect when you wash the car. Ceramic coatings are like a second skin for your car. Creates a hard protective layer that enhances gloss, repels water and dirt, and shields against UV rays, oxidisation and light scratches. You can think of it like as a high-tech shield for your car and the paintwork. So Crystal Serum Light is a professional grade product. And it's not cheap. So this is the 50ml kit here. So you get 50ml of the Crystal Serum, 50ml of the EXO V5, and you get a bottle of panel wipe as well. I actually bought this on eBay. It costs £99. If you go on the Gtechniq site, it's actually a little bit more expensive than that. I think when I looked, it was about £130. So it's actually much cheaper to buy it from eBay. But it is a professional product, like I say, and it has to be applied correctly. So there's quite a bit of work involved in doing this. The Crystal Serum itself, that is the ceramic coating that goes on the car and gives that super hard protection. That's the first stage. And then once that's applied, you apply the EXO V5, which gives a great sheen and gives those properties of sort of repelling water, making the water bead, and obviously it makes it very easy to clean the car afterwards. In the kit as well, you get a pipette because you don't want to waste this stuff. You get microfiber applicators, a set of gloves, and you get panel wipe. Now this is I think it's isopropyl alcohol. It's I had a sniff of it. It's quite strong stuff, that, because there are slightly cheaper kits that don't come with a panel wipe, and I did think I've got plenty of panel wipe, I could just use it. But I wanted to make sure I was getting the right stuff. What I would say with this, it smells very strong. So if you've got a car that's painted in cellulose or with spray cans or something like that and has been painted recently, I'd be very cautious about using this, because I reckon it will probably take soft paint off. My car's painted in 2K, so we should be perfectly okay. Preparation is everything when it comes to applying a ceramic coating. So you have to fully wash and decontaminate the car first before the ceramic coating goes on. Like I said, it works at a molecular level using nanotechnologies and bonds to the paintwork. So you need to make sure that what you're applying it to is fully cleaned and degreased and no contamination on it. So with that in mind, and like I say, it is meant to be applied by professionals, there's some kit which you may not have. So we're going to give it a full wash to begin with, which is going to be fun today because it's 2.4 degrees in here. It's colder outside. So I'm going to need some warm water in the bucket. We're going to wash the car, and then we're going to use a clay bar to remove any contamination from the car and any deposits that might not have been removed by washing. And then we're going to machine polish the car using Ferrecla G10. This is not really this is a finishing compound rather than a cutting compound. So although the car was resprayed, it's been sat in the garage, it will have picked up contaminants. So going through that process of washing, clay barring, and then machine polishing the car with a finishing compound should get us back to perfectly clean paintwork. And then what we need to do is apply the panel wipe and just give that a good wipe over, just to make sure we're leaving no contaminants, no oil, no waxes or anything on there, which would prevent the crystal serum from bonding to the vehicle's paintwork. Right, that's the car all washed and dried off now. If you're wondering, I couldn't use a hose because it's so cold out there that the hose is frozen as well. So I am actually warming the place up, so I've got a radiator on. It's currently 3 degrees, but that radiator's pretty good. It's an insulated ceiling in here, so I'm sure we'll probably get it up to about 12, 14 degrees before we start applying the ceramic coat. Now, the first step, once it's nice and clean like that, we are now gonna clay bar the car. Don't know whether you've ever used a clay bar before, but it feels like a lump of plasticine. So we've got a white clay bar there. That's too big. I'll probably chop that in half. It's way too big. Chop that in half. And what you do is you spray like a clay bar lubricant on there. With this Maguire's one, they give you a quick detailer, which yeah, just acts as a lubricant. And you just rub the clay bar over the paintwork and you'll be amazed at what contamination this pulls off the car. I'm using a brand new clay bar, gonna use a white one, and what we're gonna do is do the roof, because if you're looking at the roof now, I'm sure you're gonna say that looks absolutely immaculate and you wouldn't think there's any contaminants in there. But let's see in a minute. I think you'll be surprised. The roof will be potentially the most contaminated panel on the car because it sits in the garage, and then anything that's laying flat. So we'll clay bar the whole car, but we'll pay more attention to the panels which are horizontal. Right, as I thought, I'm only going to use literally sort of a quarter of that clay bar. That's all we need. On a day like today, you need to warm it up. You can warm it up in your hands or put it on a heater or something like that. Golden rule with clay bars though is you probably will drop this. If you drop it on the floor or anything like that, throw it away. Don't continue to use it, because the whole idea is it picks up grit and grime and that sort of thing and holds it in the clay bar. So if you get a bit of grit in there, it might be even really, really tiny. And if you continue to clay the car, you will induce scratches in the car. So golden rule, if you drop it, throw it away and start again. So I don't know what the best method for this is. I generally go in lines one way and then I will go again the next way. Never ever do this like most car cleaning stuff. Never do it in direct sunshine. You want yeah, definitely don't do it in direct sunshine. You can actually feel as you're claying it, the car, you can feel the paintwork getting smoother. Now I've done that little quarter there. Once you've done it, just buff it off with a microfiber cloth and then you are done. But even though this car has been washed and cleaned, It's never really been out. Let me show you this clay in a minute. So that's one corner on a roof that looked lovely and clean. Look at that. That is all ingrained dirt into the paintwork. So yeah, clay bars are quite amazing like that. Then what you do, just screw it up in your hand. The warmth of your hand helps to keep the clay soft, and then do another area and then just buff it off with a high quality microfiber cloth. Now I'm going to do the rest of the car, so I'll be back in probably a couple of hours. That was probably a bit of an exaggeration saying 2 hours, to be fair. It's quite quick to clay bar a car. I reckon probably about an hour. The one thing I would say is that clay bar's pulling so much dirt out of the roof here. It's phenomenal. You think it looks clean, but yeah, use a clay bar, you'll be surprised. I probably need to replace that clay bar at least once while doing the car. So like I say, it's good because I just used pretty much a quarter of what I had. We will replace the clay bar probably halfway through. Oh, first clay dropped. I've only done the front end. So like I said, if you drop it, grab another piece. It's not worth taking the risk. Right, there we go. Don't she look lovely? To be honest, on video you probably can't tell the difference, but it does look much cleaner. We went through 2 clay bars in the end. I will just throw them away now. Relatively inexpensive. So the whole car has been clay barred, wiped off, and I've done the wheels as well. So I'm gonna ceramic coat the wheels as well. I won't be able to machine polish the wheels just because obviously the shape of them, but we will use that panel wipe on there, which will hopefully take off any last contaminants in there. I did clay bar the wheels, so that should have got any dirt and grime off that we couldn't see. But obviously the wheels being white, very, very difficult to keep clean. So hopefully the ceramic coating will help me out there. So next step of the preparation, we are going to machine polish the car. We're using Recliner G10, which is a fine, very fine compound. We're using a medium pad and we'll put some water on there as well. This is not like compounding the car after you've resprayed or anything like that. We are just polishing it just to get any fine scratches out before we start applying the ceramic coating. So we won't go mad with the machine polish. It will literally just a once over, quick once over all the body, and then we'll panel wipe it. Right then, all machine polished. It's hard work, that is. It is worth taking some time, taking the wipers off because they'll get caught up in the mop head. Any bungs you can take out, I've taken out the side repeaters, and as you'd have seen, I put masking tape over the black and rubber trim because compound, when it gets on it, it's hard to get off again. So that's about as clean as it can be. Even though that had been cleaned, then clay barred, you could even see dirt coming off in the mop, so it's amazing how ingrained the dirt gets. Next step is we need to use this panel wipe. Like I say, I think it's isopropyl alcohol. It's very, very strong. And like I say, if you were considering using this on a car which had been resprayed with cellulose or a spray can or something like that, I would be very careful with this. I would test it, test an area before you do it, because it is very potent, to say the least. Right then, we are ready for the first stage of our ceramic coating. So like I say, there's two stages. There's the crystal serum, which is the actual ceramic coat, and then there's the EXO V5, which is like a secondary layer. It gives you that really, really superb waterproofing. I can't remember what it's called now, but it sort of kind of repels water, so they work hand in hand. How it works, actually, you put the crystal serum on, you leave it to flash off 5 minutes, 10 minutes, depending on temperature. You buff it off, and then you have to leave it 1 to 2 hours, and being as cold as it is today, we'll give it a couple of hours, and then you can apply the EXO V5. So you use this crystal serum quite sparingly, which is why they give you this little pipette. Try not to spill it. And it's literally just a few drips on the little microfiber applicator there. We're wearing gloves because they give you gloves, so I don't know whether it's hazardous or anything like that, but why take the risk, eh? And then when it comes to applying it, you just literally, just like that, probably 50% overlap each time. Probably quite hard to see on the camera, but I can see that's going on okay. And then we'll go up and down one way. Yeah, can you see that on the camera? Hopefully you can. So once we've gone up and down that way, we'll then just go left to right as well, just to make sure we're getting perfect coverage. It's got a bit of a scent to it. Not particularly pleasant. So that is it. We've covered every inch of the bonnet. We'll just make sure we'll run down the edges once more and down the middle. And that's it. It's as simple as that. Give that 5 minutes to 10 minutes to flash off, and then we'll buff off with a brand new microfiber cloth. So it's like spray painting a car, this. All the hard work is in the prep. When it comes to actually putting the ceramic coat on, very, very quick and easy. Right, slight correction. I just double checked the instructions because you should always do that. You don't leave it for like 10 minutes to flash off. What you do, like it's on there at the moment, it still looks slightly streaky and slightly wet. What you do is you leave it, and it starts to almost bead up like water. And when it beads up, that means the surface of the paint has absorbed as much of the ceramic coating as it can. And then hopefully I'll be able to show that on video. It sort of beads up. When it beads up, you use 2 microfiber cloths. One to just buff off the kind of excess, the beading. Once you've got that off, then use a second microfiber cloth just to give it a last buff. So I'm just doing that again, and hopefully I'll show you at the moment what the beading looks like. Right, a few minutes later, hopefully that's visible now. Like I say, it's like it's beaded up. You can see it looks really, really streaky. And that beading is just where the paint can't absorb any more ceramic coating. So it beads up on the surface. Because I messed up first time, I panel wiped that back off, and I've done it again. So yeah, you can see that beading, and when it's like that, one microfiber cloth to take the residue off, and then another one to give it a final buff. Right, there we go, that's the ceramic coating all done. It goes on fairly easily, it's pretty quick to go on, but yeah, doing the whole car, doing the wheels as well, obviously takes its time. So I used about a third of a bottle, just under a third, so I guess that's probably about 15 ml of fluid. So if you bought a 30 ml bottle, you'd comfortably do a mini, possibly have some spare to do a second coat. I am very, very impressed. I'm sure this is not going to come out on the camera or you'll be able to see the difference, but I certainly can. It is, I mean, quite literally, it's like putting on liquid glass. It is, yeah, it's quite impressive. And I think actually ceramic coating is silicon dioxide, which comes from quartz crystal, so it pretty much is liquid glass. I mean, it makes it look like the lacquer has just been sprayed on again. It's like it's still looking wet. Even on the wheels, it made a difference, but I don't know on the wheels how long it will last for, because the wheels are powder coated, they're not painted. I don't know what ceramic coatings take like to powder coated finishes rather than painted finishes. So next step, so we've got to leave that a couple of hours now. There's cure time, and once we've done the final stage, actually you need to leave it for ideally about a week without washing it or getting it wet, if you can. So that's not a problem for me. So next step is the EXO V5, which adds that sort of super slick, makes the water bead and gives it that sort of self-cleaning property. But we've got to give it 2 hours now. Right, so that's 2 hours later and we're ready to apply the Gtechniq EXO V5 now. Like I say, this just adds an added layer of protection and helps the water bead on the car. You don't have to do that. You could just leave it with the ceramic coating on there, but the two-stage coating just gives it that extra lift, that extra shine, extra protection, and gives you the amazing beading quality. You apply this pretty much exactly the same as you apply the crystal serum. Few drops on there, apply it the same way, let it flash off, and then buff it off. So I'm not gonna video this because it's pretty much the same as before. I'm just gonna get it all done. Back in a moment. So there we go, all done. It's looking absolutely fabulous. That last coating of that EXO V5 really goes on nicely. It feels a little bit more viscous than the serum, a little bit more oily, goes on quite easy. Don't really notice any difference in the shine. Like I say, with the serum on there, it looked absolutely amazing, like you were painting on a glass finish, so it's hard to improve on that. Now, I used to think of like ceramic coatings and that as a little bit like, is it snake oil? So obviously time will tell and I will report back. I can't wash it and I don't want to get it wet for a week now to let that fully cure, but then I will give you an update on how it goes. There is one thing I would say about ceramic coatings though. Maybe a negative. Now, if you're the sort of person that enjoys polishing their car, now I'm that sort of person. I like coming out into the garage, especially in the summer, getting a bit of carnauba wax out and giving the car a nice waxing. Well, the whole idea of applying a ceramic coating kind of does away with that. And you can get very good results with some high quality carnauba wax. It's just that it doesn't last as long. If you're the sort of person that likes to just wash off the car, not do the waxing bit, then ceramic coatings are definitely for you because they tend to last at least a year. I would imagine on something like this that's not going to go out in all the weather much, going to be kept under cover, it's going to last for years. One last thing, if you were wondering, so I started at 12 o'clock today, it's now 9:30 in the evening. I stopped for a bit of lunch and I stopped for dinner for probably an hour and a half while it was curing. So yeah, there's quite a lot of elbow grease involved in doing this ceramic coating. The ceramic coat is very, very easy and quick to apply, but it's all that prep work you have to do beforehand. That's the bit that takes time and it takes a bit of effort. So far, I'm pretty pleased with this crystal serum from Gtechniq. The kit seems pretty good and I don't actually think it's bad value for money if it does last like it says it's gonna last. So, what did you think of the video? What do you think of ceramic coatings? Get down in the description, let me know. Would you spend that much on a ceramic coating? I mean, for me, I've spent a lot of money on this car and anything that can give me the best protection possible for that paintwork, I don't mind spending a little bit extra. So thanks for watching this week. Remember to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, give it a thumbs down. I don't mind. If you're not a subscriber, please do consider subscribing and I'll catch you again on the next one. See you at Bingley Hall.